Game Clique.
What's good, everybody, and welcome to Game Clique, the little blackest video game podcast in the industry. This podcast is so black, they put money on the books of the guy that stabbed Tory Lanez.
Acceptable.
Okay. All right. Allegedly.
Are we sure?
Allegedly. We don't know. Nobody knows. Don't mess with the stallion, son. I am your
That's real. That's real.
As always, I am your boy, the Charm City Champ, and I'm joined here by a bigger rogues gallery than we normally have here. But this is a big time episode, so I figured we should pull out the big guns. Starting with the creator, the inventor, the coach and chairman. I make up a new title for you every episode.
Every time.
Of the University of Maryland's esports program, Sergio.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me again, man. Excited to be here. I know I couldn't close out last year's Power Rankings. I was a little upset because I think there was some out-of-pocket picks, so I'm happy to be here and set the record straight to kick us off this year.
We're going to have some time to address, last year's, because I know there's some. We'll get to that.
Let's do it.
I am also joined here by the King of Strong Style, the King of the Iron Fist, our local wise man, Hinokaga.
Oh.
Is this camera from?
I thought he was prepared to be like,
I'm crying. Yo. Oh, we got to keep that in.
That's definitely, we're not reshooting that.
What happened?
Your camera was froze.
Ooh, everybody?
Yours,
Mine?
no, just yours.
It's mine? Yo, it's just like, I saw everybody like you just stopped and I was
We
just like,
thought you was like dramatically pausing.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I
yo,
really
like,
did.
that's what I thought you. I thought I was getting pranked. I was like, yo, why is everybody so still?
and we're like,
Well, he just
I thought
introduced
that
you.
was a part of the thing. And I was like, oh, wait, no, it's not.
Well, hello. Glad to be back.
And last but not least, our resident mommy, and mommy is always on top, Reese. What's up?
I'm always excited to be here. It's not going to turn into a wrestling episode this time. I promise.
Maybe.
Everything is not wrestling.
We do have at least one wrestling
Could
thing to talk about, so we shall see. But yeah, like I said, we're here to talk about our 2025 Power Rankings. For those of you that don't know, our Power Rankings are an annual list that we create throughout the year. This is not like anybody's top 10 list. Those crazy people who wait until December 31st to construct their list or December 15th, we keep that list updated all year round.
We work harder. Far harder.
That's right.
Harder.
We're normally better. We normally don't wait until mid-May to do this. But crazy year. We got a bunch of games to talk about, and we're going to get right to it. But before we get right to it, I do want to address last year's Power Rankings. Now that we're like a couple of months removed, we don't have that, we're not in the honeymoon phase anymore. Last year we had like some late entrants that kind of snuck. I don't want to say snuck, because some of them deserve it. So let's look over the 2024 Power Rankings list and see if everybody has any regrets about it. Starting with number 10, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. 9, Tekken 8. 8, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. 7, Helldivers 2. 6, Marvel Rivals. 5, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown. 4, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. 3, Balatro. 2, Metaphor Refantazio. And 1, Astrobot.
I got a few gripes, so I suggest we should just start from number 10 and work our way up and see if people like the placements. I think that'd be the best way to approach this. Which number 10 is fine. I think Echoes of Wisdom, I think that's a good spot for it. I'm honestly surprised it's on the list just because it wasn't talked about as much as a Zelda game typically is. But yeah, it's a good placement for it if it's going to be on there.
Yeah, it's definitely the weakest Zelda that I think I've played in a long time.
Oh, wow.
But it's still a Zelda. Like, the worst Zelda game is still a phenomenal game. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Reese, you have something to say?
You don't. Listen, I do love this game. It is complex. I am not a fan of this kind of art style.
Oh.
So I know, right? The cozy gamer.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy a lot of the aspects, like the binding aspect. I love the mechanics of it. I do think it is, even though it's cute, it's complex. I would be fair. I think it holds strong at that 10 spot. It is a weak Zelda game, though.
Yeah, the story's not super interesting, and not saying that like most Zelda games normally have a super interesting story, but like the story's not really interesting. There's not really too many characters in here that's interesting. I think the menu really hurts the game, like the way you navigate and like pick the different things you're kind of summoning. Making that just one horizontal bar was just a very bad design decision.
The Zelda menu has always been a gripe for me in general. I've always had an issue with the menu. And then with this, I'm just like, this is nice. I love getting a game with the cooking aspect. That's my weakness. I do love the smoothies. I do love that, but it's just playing as Zelda, I was really excited because like, we finally get to play as the title character, the titular character. Well, anyway. Oh, cute! It was cute. It's a complex cozy game. Yeah, it's definitely towing that line of like what a cozy game is and what like a traditional Zelda game is, and I think it does it well enough. It definitely could have been. I think if it wasn't for the title, we would be praising this a little more. But I think that Zelda lineage just holds so much weight, and it didn't really meet that for a lot of people.
Especially coming off of two, all-time classics and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like the follow-up had to be something crazy, and it just you couldn't live up to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Zelda's the type of series where it's just like you want to make sure you're taking care of like your core audience in the first place, because that's going to be like the base of your game. So, like just hearing you guys talk about it, because like I didn't play it. I'm not a Nintendo guy, but just hearing you guys talk about it, it just sounds like, yeah, we got something else kind of a step down from the last games we played. You played it. Have fun. Kind of.
Right. It was easy. I think it's not for core Zelda fans. It's for the children of the core Zelda fans, to be honest. It's something you introduce your kids to. Like, this is my game. Like, I feel like that's what it is. I like the game. It was a cozy game. I got to turn my brain off for a few hours. But it wasn't worth the price.
And then at the end of the day, I don't think I could name another game to replace it. I don't think I could name a 10.
What? If I looked at my list from last year, I probably could.
In hindsight,
I'm biased, so no.
Because in hindsight, everything I just talked about with Zelda, about taking care of your core audience, didn't happen in Tekken.
Ooh.
But I will say though, I think just somebody that doesn't play fighting games, Tekken, like seeing the amount of praise and new people that were able to play Tekken for the first time, and the systems that they added were so accessible for newcomers, that I think that alone to me propels it in that upper echelon. And I also think that year it came out last year, people stayed on this much longer than they did Street Fighter 6, right?
Yes.
Like Street Fighter came out, it was the talk of the town for like a little bit. People were off of it. Tekken had the staying power for the entirety of the year. And so to me, like, I understand that the core fan base fell off of it, but I think the features that they added were revolutionary for accessibility in fighting games. And I don't think we could take that away from that game.
Oh, I think the fan base is still there with Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
I just think everybody is absolutely frustrated, and that's newcomer. Like most newcomers, and like and old heads are still playing the game because I like again not on my bingo card that the developers are just going to be like, hey, you know those things that you wanted in the game? We put them in. Wait for the patch, and then we got the patch, and it was not there at all. And then I don't know if anybody watched like Evo Japan this weekend, but Evo Japan was a big Tekken tournament. Evo tournaments are arguably the biggest fighting game tournaments in the world. And at the biggest Tekken 8 tournament in the world, they decided to announce a new character that's coming in this new season pass, and it is absolutely the person nobody wanted.
Oh no!
Like,
I will say though, like,
a small, loud minority.
For sure. If we're looking at last year's power rankings, though, to me, I don't think it's fair for us to keep like ongoing games like based on their current updates that are happening this year. Like I'm judging Tekken 8.
Some of this kind of happened at the end of the year. For sure. Some of it.
For sure. But I think the initial impact, like I said, of Tekken 8 when it releases a fighting game, like there's no other fighting game that I could put on this list that had that much impact and staying power for the entirety of 2024.
Oh yeah, I don't want it to go anywhere. Just maybe down.
And honestly, you said it would go down. I would put it above Indiana Jones. To me, that was my argument for it. I was gonna put it over Indy. I was 100% gonna put it over Indy.
Did you?
That might be my Indy bias.
That's a Mr. Charm City champ pick right there.
I really I did not expect.
I know you rock with that game.
Yeah, it was so good. I know it's not gonna be everybody's vibe. It definitely had a unique, like, kind of taste in regards to like how to approach puzzle solving and like the open world.
Hold that thought for 1 second when you just said that.
Yeah,
just hold on to that energy for later.
Oh God,
I need you to be like, it's not everybody's jam, but just hold on to that for later.
We'll talk about that. We will talk about that. I really do like Indiana Jones. I don't know if I'd lower it anymore, especially like the way Hino, who is like hardcore into the FGC,
for sure,
is talking about Tekken 8. I don't know if I'd bring it down to bring Tekken 8 up.
Because like my thing, my only reason why I said that is because I lost hope in Tekken 8 in December. Like I was like, damn, this isn't getting fixed. The writing was kind of on the walls of like where the developers were going, and I really think I'm about to say some wild stuff real quick.
That has never stopped you.
Wild theory crafted. I think they're kind of trying to tank the game a little bit.
Why? Why would they do that? Why would they do such a thing?
So Virtual Fighter will get a stronger showing when it comes out.
Is that the same company now? Is that Bandai Namco still?
No, but I just think it's weird. Weird arcade culture.
You thought Bandai Namco said, "Let's take our games." So
I think somebody in that. I think somebody there.
Check.
I think somebody there is just like Virtual Fighter coming out. I'm about to throw a couple monkey wrenches in this thing.
Let's keep that theory. We don't need to talk about it.
Put a pin in that.
Let's keep that.
Our theory crafting.
Put a pin in that.
For sure.
I think the rest of the list though is solid. I mean, we got Helldivers 2.
Nah.
Helldivers 2.
Damn.
Helldivers should be higher than Marvel Rivals.
You think so?
Absolutely.
No.
I don't
know.
The way
Helldivers should not be higher than Marvel Rivals. I just got off Marvel Rivals. I was like 50 plus hours in the game. I'm telling you,
and I'm about to tell you, I'm about to say the
game.
same thing
that you
just said. The way you feel about Marvel Rivals this year, compared to last year when it was out.
I'm not. And look, I still love the game. I
Mhm.
still love the game, right? Like,
Mhm.
but I think like everything in the world was against Helldivers. Everything in the world, making you log into PlayStation, to have an online account on PC, being a $40 game, being a PvE game in 2024 when we've seen so many multiplayer games come out this year and fail. Every multiplayer game falls off. Are we going? I mean, every game can be Fortnite. That don't mean, once again, the impact that year, at the beginning of the year, Helldivers was the talk of the town. Every TikTok you saw, every tweet, people were cosplaying. There was like people role playing, like we were actually at war. I was telling my friends, like, I gotta get on the game and go fight for democracy. Like, that's
Until
crazy.
Rivals came
That game
out.
had motion. We are not about to play Helldivers right now.
We
I,
but when Rivals came out, it took that spot.
I'm
Everybody was
It's
dressing
Marvel.
up as a.
It's
Everybody was,
Marvel. Of course, it was going to. That's a IP steal.
but at the same time, they did a good job. They didn't like it
absolutely.
wasn't just a cash grab.
Absolutely. I love both, so I'm fine with it if that's the places we're putting them. I just think Helldivers is a more impressive accomplishment to me as a studio. I think what they did is incredible, and I don't know if anybody's going to be able to replicate that.
I 100% agree with you on that. 100%.
I'm sorry. Go
Only
ahead.
Helldivers people knew what Helldivers was. That's when 2 dropped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't even I think about that aspect, right? A sequel and most people did not play the first one. I did not play the first one. That's a good point too.
I played the first one.
If it wasn't for Hino's excitement for it, it would not have been on my radar at all.
Shout out to Hino. Did good.
So my thing why I agree with where it's at is because of the nature of it. Like I get your argument about like the impact that it had, and it did have, like, it took the world over for like that month, that 2 months. But I think the nature of it being a live service game, you have to judge it a little differently, and like that, the way the support just died off. Like it just
you mean like fan support, or you mean like
fan support or dev support?
No, I mean dev support.
Whoa.
No,
There was like no content at all for it. No content.
They were still adding content. We just didn't get a new entity, I guess. So like a new, yeah. They didn't put like a new enemy in the game.
They kept working on it, but the problem was like some of the stuff that they did when they were working on it. Some people hated.
I'm
like,
not crediting them for fixing servers. The server should have worked.
No, we're not talking about fixing servers. We're talking about the actual
there was
gameplay
like new stratagems and stuff they were adding. Like there was new content in the game. It was just that there wasn't a new enemy. So for people, they got tired of fighting the same, hordes of monsters, I guess, which is understandable. I definitely can agree with that for sure. But I also think we're holding Helldivers to a standard that is insane when like multiplayer games don't just come out. Paid multiplayer games do not just come out and thrive in this current regime of video games.
Agree.
Need I remind us what just happened to Concord just this last year? And somehow Helldivers was still able to come out and thrive. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
like I said,
Concord was ass.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as bad as people say, but I'm gonna leave it at that.
It wasn't bad, but it definitely was a tax write-off.
It just wasn't.
It's not a great idea.
It was the most generic. Yeah, 100%.
Can we agree? Can we agree that 5 and up?
One beef.
One sneak.
Only one beef, I promise.
One sneak.
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I love.
Yes.
And so I'm fine with that placement. But the one that's really eating at me is Metaphor and Balatro. I think we need to have a conversation.
You want to switch up?
Yes.
Woof.
I think I want to switch them, man.
Woof. Okay.
How? Because in hindsight,
Balatro just touched
when it comes to
more people.
Metaphor. I was gonna say, like, in hindsight, when it comes to Metaphor, everybody was like, "Oh, this game is really cool. It's really great. It's really great. It's really great. You're gonna love it. You love our JRPGs. You should play it." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna give that demo a try." And I sat down and I played the demo, and I was like, "No."
I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt the same. I felt the exact same.
This is crazy.
And I think that is why, especially now knowing that turn-based isn't an issue for myself now, playing through Sea of Stars, playing through Expedition 33 this year. So I know that the turn-based, I'm past that in my gaming, journey now. So to me, Balatro was a game that I'm telling y'all, if I counted my hours on my phone, on Steam, on my Steam Deck, on my PlayStation, I would be embarrassed to tell y'all how long or how many hours I have in that game on multiple platforms. And I think that's the same across the board. Like I've seen so many people buy that game on multiple platforms and play it just passively. I'm on the Metro in DC playing this game on my phone. I've never done that. Like I never play games on my phone. And I just think overall, just the uniqueness of it, the roguelike card poker style is something that's so unique. Not that Metaphor isn't, right? I think it was a really daring thing for that studio to do with this new IP outside of Persona, right? And to reset their universe. But Balatro, man, just as an indie game and the impact that it had as just a card game, I think is cannot be understated to me. So I would put it over Metaphor, but completely understand if you're like the JRPG person and made it through Metaphor, why you would put it over 100%.
I wouldn't put it over Rebirth. I would not put Metaphor over Rebirth.
Oh,
This went south. I don't even want to talk to y'all no more.
my bad. I told you I wasn't on the last.
Like I'm in a tennis match. I'm like,
I wasn't on the last one, so
See, yeah, Power Ranking
hindsight-
episodes need to be big episodes.
Metaphor over
But no.
Rebirth. I mean,
in
Rebirth over
hindsight, though,
Rebirth.
right? I think if we're trying to get to our 2025 list, right?
Yes.
I would be comfortable still submitting this list. I think as it is right now, I there's still some gripes I have, obviously, right? But I think overall it's a list that I'm at least proud of in terms of the games represented on here. I think there's a wide range. I think most of these games make sense. So I think this is a really solid list regardless.
Yeah, I think if this list would just infinitely shuffle for the rest of the time. If
Yeah.
we ever were to the gavel's down, we put the pin in it. I think it's a great list.
For sure. Absolutely.
Just letting you know how I feel, brother. That's
Duly noted. Now let's go to the future. Let's leave the past in the past and let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the now. We're talking about the 2025 Power Rankings list. And let's start it off, like I always want to start this discussion off with a banger that we can all agree on and touch on. Let's talk about Split Fiction.
Okay.
What's up?
I think
what you gotta say.
no, I think for me, this game and was it Take Two Interactive that mixed these. I think when Take Two, whenever I play one of their games, I'm always like, I don't know how they're gonna top
Hazelight,
this.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. Hazelight
Hazelight,
Studios.
yeah.
You're 100% right.
Mhm.
But either way, with Hazelight, I always think like, how are they going to top this, right? In terms of gameplay, because I think this is such a untapped market, and I love that they stick to this. First of all, I love that this is their identity. We make couch co-op games that everybody can enjoy, right? I think that's such a untapped market, and I think it's so special that they continue to innovate on that. And I think by the time I reached the end of this game, especially that last level, I was just like, nobody has it like them, man. Like when it comes to just genuine and pure game design, they know how to make every single thing that you do in these games feel fun. And that's what I felt all the way throughout Split Fiction. There's a lot there left to be desired, I think, in terms of story and voice acting and everything in that game. I think a lot of the dialogue really didn't stick with me, and the story itself wasn't that intriguing. But there wasn't a time where I ever thought about not playing or skipping the cutscenes because the gameplay was so enthralling to me. So I love it. I think it's an incredible game.
I definitely agree. That one. I am not really like a multiplayer. I'm the resident cozy gamer, and I had a blast. I was like, I get to play as hot dogs? Yeah, like sign me up. Sign me up. I had a blast, and I know that a lot of people are upset because you have to play with somebody you know. But for me, who doesn't like to get cursed out on these headsets, I loved it. Like I don't have a 10-year-old screaming at me. I'm good here.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I had a blast. I think it's a beautiful game. And when you said it, the cutscenes and the story acting for me did its job.
Good. Yeah.
It did its job. It was there for me. I had a blast.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all have said. Like, It Takes Two, Haze Light's last game, like set the bar so high, winning Game of the year that it
Yep.
came out, like getting all these awards and accolades, and people were wondering how they were going to follow up. And like this, I think, took everything that It Takes Two did and improved on it, which is insane. Like there's even more variation from level to level. And like the impressive thing, I think a lot of people don't go into this when they discuss their games is the inherent tutorialization of everything. Like you're never really confused. They're throwing so many different mechanics at you, like left and right, like so fast. But as the player, you're never lost. It's always something you can inherently like pick up and like you're ready to play, like no matter what your skill level is, which is it's insane. That's so impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something a lot of games like get wrong. Like in fact, like me and you, Champ, we talked about like a couple of games that, like we got to sit down and play around and test with. And I think what was it? Door knockers. We were talking about that. Like how like they had this game. It has like a pretty cool concept, something that like me personally would be into, but it's being so difficult explaining how to play the actual game to the point that, I was lost a lot of the time and I was just trying stuff. So like, anytime like, you have a game that can nail that, where you're not lost playing it. So like, that means anybody can pick it up and play it and have a good time. Like you got something special right there. And then, yeah, like this developer just keeps knocking it out of the park like every time. Like, it's like, this is what we do. We're going to build on that, and we're going to make something special. I just can't wait to see what's next. Like,
Yeah.
And when
I
we
think,
gonna play this, champ? Damn.
When you free? I'll put it
I
in
think
I'll put it in our calendar now.
I think a universe where this game exists and it's not immediately considered game of the year, like we're in a really good year of gaming.
So,
Like absolutely, the fact that is not my undisputed number one, like this has already been an incredible year, and we're only in May. So,
and as someone who doesn't play games like this, like I was hooked from the beginning. I was like,
yeah,
this is it. I was like, oh, this is. I was because when we started playing it, I was like, chat, be prepared to carry me. You still did. You still carried, but like I still was able to hold my own.
I do want to piggyback before we move on about the story, because I don't think people would be so harsh on the story if the story, and this includes It Takes Two as well. Like I don't want to sound rude, but they always deliver the story kind of like it's better than it actually is, kind of like they're up their own butt about it.
Yeah.
Like It Takes Two really delivered it as if like you were getting this grandiose lesson about love and divorce and like accepting that you kind of are falling out of love, and it's delivered in this like super silly, non-nuanced, heavy-handed way. And it's kind of the same thing in Split Fiction, where like all the characters are so on the nose. You got the country bumpkin girl that kind of like is not the big, and then you got the big city girl that like obviously has some daddy issues, and like it's just everything is so on the nose.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think within their previous installments, though, they have done a story correctly, right?
Yeah.
Or semi-correctly, or at least better than what I felt in Split Fiction, right? I think in A Way Out, for example,
Yes.
I think that story was told very, very well. While there was definitely complaints that I had about It Takes Two and the divorce storyline, I still feel like that had more heart than some of the emotional beats that they were trying to get me to feel in this game. I think there was just no time in this game where I felt like I was going to remotely tear up or like care, deeply about these characters other than the humor that they presented. So I do think they can get there. I think, they have the gameplay is there, right? They just need to hire writers to make a good story. And I think we will be in for like a 10 out of 10 game easily.
For sure. So here's how I want to approach building this list today. So right now I'm going to just put Split Fiction. It's at the number 1 spot.
Okay.
And as we bring up new games, we'll then decide whether it goes above Split Fiction or below Split Fiction. And then we'll just keep going like that until we have the 10. All right, so right now, Split Fiction, #1 game of the year. What's the next game we should bring up? Looking at our list of potential contenders.
Well, I mean, we already know which one is gonna knock it down, so we might as well get that one out the way. We already know. Go ahead and put that Expedition 33 up there for me.
Oh,
Come on now.
damn. All right.
Come on now. That's the goatee.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the worst named game since Metaphor Refantasio.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. The Clair Obscur part. Yeah.
It's
not worse than
Metaphor.
Yeah, it's not worse than Metaphor. Though. Yeah,
What's
that's
a Clair
crazy.
Obscur?
That's crazy.
What is a Clair
Clair Obscur is like light and dark. In like French, I think it means like light and dark. Like how, well, I don't want no story spoilers. It's just light and dark. You understand when you play through the story. I feel like I talked on his last episode way too much. So now that y'all have hopefully progressed in the game a little more, I want to hear more from y'all and how you're feeling.
Yeah. I'll take lead because you did, like, we have a separate video that y'all can check out, or you can check out last week's episode of the podcast where we did a kind of a review of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. At the time, I was really kind of like an hour or 2 hours into the game. I am now, for lack of a better phrase, stuck on the boss of Act 2.
Okay.
So,
story time real quick, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no.
So
You gonna tell me you ain't play it?
No, I've been playing it.
Okay.
So I was playing the game on Game Pass, and I logged into the game to play it on Game Pass, and my save data was corrupted.
No, what?
Oh.
But I took that as a sign because I had a couple extra dollars. So I got the Steam version so I could play with
My dogs. Support the devs. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear. You just made my day.
So I'm running through it again, and like I got back to where I was before, like pretty fast. But like now I'm still in like Act 1, but I'm at the Lantern boss.
Oh, you might want to finish that one and get back to me when you yeah.
But oh my god, what a game!
What a game!
Can I say? I want to say something like a little, like not about the game, but like not about like the actual gameplay or anything. Social media has been blowing this game up too. Like I like I like YouTube. I like watching like a lot of reactors and stuff like that. And I have seen so many of my music reactors reacting to the soundtrack. I've seen a bunch of people that don't really play games on YouTube trying the game out and enjoying it. Like I see like a few really good memes popping up over and over and over as well. And I'm like, man, like the word of mouth for this game is blowing it up. Like there's no doubt in my mind, like especially with some of the other stuff that's coming out this year.
Yeah.
That like it's not like it shouldn't be like in top 3 for like game of the year.
Yeah, I think the last milestone I've seen is it sold 2 million copies.
Yes.
And that's with it being on Game Pass.
Yes, it's not counting the Game Pass. Yeah, which is like insane. I think this game coming out, I'm proud of you. Yeah. I think like, a game coming out once again like this, right? Set up to fail, right? Like it's an indie studio. You don't have that major marketing push. It's a turn-based game, which in this market, especially in American markets, oftentimes doesn't do well, right? Off rip. You have people that'll turn on a turn-based game and say, oh, this is turn-based, I'm done, right? Not playing it. I think, just like Hino said, the soundtrack not only doing well on YouTube and in terms of reactors, but it's genuinely charting. Like songs on this soundtrack are charting on billboards. Like it is actually insane. I'm really trying to think to myself, when is the last time I've seen an original indie title come out and have this much word of mouth motion? Like it's insane to see like how many people are still playing this game and trying it for the first time day after day after day. How many people I see on Blue Sky that are talking about it, loading it up for the first time today. And like now, Brian, get into the end of Act 1 and how crazy that is to get to that story moment. Like it's just so. I haven't seen a game take over like this in a really long time, and it makes me so happy because I cannot see another game overtaking this. For me at the end of the year, with everything that we still have to talk about later, I cannot see it.
Can we at least talk about the end of Act 1?
No, he knows not there.
You're not?
I mean, I've been
No,
spoiled.
because I actually want to play it.
I've been spoiled though. Like somebody was like, "Bro, look where." I was like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
That moment though, like
Yeah.
no spoilers.
Well, no,
that moment, Brian, this very desk y'all see me sitting in front of. I was just sitting here like at my desk. The tears were just flowing. I cannot believe it. I had to get off the game. I literally logged off the game after I finished Act 1. I was like, I'm not playing this.
I'm
not playing this.
I want to have a really real conversation. I'm not gonna have it now.
Mhm.
People are taking to that moment very well in comparison to a comparable moment in my mind. You already know where I'm going.
Oh yeah, I know.
Very
where you're
weird.
going with this. Whoa,
That
don't bring that up.
I'm not. We'll talk
that's
about
a deeper
it.
discussion.
Once
That's
we
a
get
deeper
there,
discussion.
once we all get there, we'll talk
Absolutely.
about it. But
Absolutely. That's a really. I didn't think about that.
I'm
That's a really good
noticing.
discussion.
That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
No.
Interesting. Very interesting.
But
I'm mad because I know what you're talking to the game that y'all not trying to spoil for me, but I don't know what game you're talking. I got an idea.
we'll speak soon. I do want to do like a sort of like episode where everybody who's on Game Clique who's beat the game will come back and we like full on spoiler filled discussion because the story needs to be discussed. It needs to be broken down.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like a Oscar movie level script. I think I would not be shocked if this gets developed into a movie or a series.
Oh, they already said it's a live action movie already announced.
Oh snap!
Yeah, already. And to me, the story so I got halfway through this game and I was like, this has to be a book. Like, there's no way this is just like original content. Like this, somebody had to like put this like pen to paper before this came out or something. So yeah, it's genuinely that good. Reese, I think you're gonna love it.
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Looking down, 100% of the reviews said they love the soundtrack. 100% love this soundtrack. So I'm excited. You guys know I'm trying to branch out.
Mm-hmm. Single.
And just real quick too.
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to my man Daredevil, yo, starring in his first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what? Who? Listen to it again. I was like, hey,
Yeah.
no way.
The cast, the voice acting in general is really, really good. I think the entire cast is really, really solid. They did an incredible job.
I don't want to like clear number one. I'm not trying to humble it, but I do think it's not perfect.
Oh, by no means.
There's
by
some
no
places
means.
in the beginning of the game while I was playing, while I was like, oh yeah, like I keep forgetting it's not a AAA game. Like, I literally like said that like out loud. I was
Absolutely.
like, oh,
Which is fine. Like
yeah,
Mhm.
which is.
I think the
speaks
highs
volumes.
like outweigh it so much that I'm
Yeah.
like anytime I see something bad with the game, I just go
yeah, I
like
think
it every time.
my thing is because the game is really and I'm playing on the normal difficulty, the difficulty that the game expects you to play on. The parry, as good as it feels when you nail it, I just think that the game goes out its way to trick you into doing it at the wrong time.
What you mean?
I think it really feels like some enemies you're fighting when you're looking at their animations. Like, first of all, they slow-mo
That's the problem.
to make it. They're like,
That's your problem. You're looking at the animation. You gotta do it by sound.
and it's like,
But also
it's
do
a sound
you play
thing, bro.
Souls-likes?
I do play Souls. I also don't parry in Souls likes. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I'm a dodge roller. Like I roll
Okay.
all over the motherfucking place before I will
for
try to parry. But
sure.
but Expedition, like, I don't want to say it makes you parry, but you are doing yourself a disservice if you don't parry. Like,
absolutely.
The counterattack damage that you're forfeiting, you know, you just
The AP, yep.
yeah, exactly. You have to parry in that game. So, and for parrying to be so essential, I just wish it was a little more obvious when it was time to get the perfect parry.
I will say though,
war, brother.
But just
This
like
I'm
said
bored.
earlier, I've seen a lot of like people their first time turn based like playing a game like this before, and they're figuring that out though. So I think at least they're guiding you and easing you into it, right? You have the ability to dodge if you need to practice like the move sets, but they want you to get to the point where you are able to parry those moves. And I've seen it firsthand. Like I've seen people, be like, okay, I have to dodge it first because I don't know how to do this parry stuff. And then once they get the perfects right off the dodges, start parrying, and it's rewarding that way, right? You feel like you've overcome something in that moment. And so for me, I look at it as like at least they're pushing you towards it. I agree that it should be more apparent. I even think I have a complaint about it. I think in the very beginning of the game, it says you have the freedom to choose between a dodge or a parry.
Yes.
And as I get towards the end of the game, I'm like,
You really
you
don't.
have to parry. There's no way you can
really
get through this
don't.
game just dodging. There's no way. But I think, like I said, they do a good job of preparing you throughout the game for those moments, which I really appreciate it.
You brought up the AP. I thought the AP was like a really good change in regards to like how mana is normally managed in a JRPG. Like normally you have like a finite amount of magic points or whatever that you can normally like refill. I think using AP or action points that you get back by either parrying or like having lumas or whatever, I thought that was so smart.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I one of the things that I really love about this game is the twist some of the twists that you get on like a classic turn-based RPG. I mean, like making you pay more attention because like you have to dodge and parry and jump. Like how the AP system works instead of having like MP like traditional like turn-based RPGs. Like just those little tweaks to like regular turn-based combat, like just makes this game like so much more fun. It actually, my RPG of the year was not going to be like Expedition 33 until I played it, and now I'm just like, yikes! Like the game,
it's too good, man.
And I've been standing. I'm just like now I'm starting to see some of like the chinks in its armor because of Expedition 33,
Man.
even though it's a completely different type of RPG. So.
One last gripe, and it's not really a gripe, like it's not something that I expected them to have in there, but after playing Expedition 33 and after playing Metaphor, I expect the map. Yes, the map sucks.
I agree.
The fact that it doesn't
I need
exist.
a map. I got lost so many times, y'all. Look, I can't see. Like these glasses I have for a reason. I was getting lost in this game.
You mean like a dungeon map, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's the problem with, and again, the gaming is gorgeous, but when you aim for like the high fidelity, I don't want to say realistic because clearly like it's based on a surreal version of Earth or whatever. But when you aim for photorealism and high fidelity, you lose the ability of like level designing in a way that's inherent to show you what the right way is. If you get what I'm saying, like every place,
everything starts to look same.
Exactly. So like it's very hard to navigate without a map. So they really should have gave you a map or at least some sort of like, let me press a button so I can know where the story way is.
And the funny thing about that too is even though it's really easy to get lost in like like a instance area or a dungeon, whatever you want to call it. It's also surprisingly linear.
Yeah, for sure.
So like they're like at least in the beginning, like there's like a couple like little platforming areas, but like they're nothing like they're not like knocking your socks off or anything.
No,
like that.
for sure.
No. And I think it speaks to the fact that, and I don't want us to be the Expedition 33 Part 2 podcast, so we'll move on to this. But I really do think that even despite getting lost, there's been plenty of games that I've played where if I felt the navigation wasn't what I needed it to be, I've just dropped it and been like, yeah, like I'm done. I think I get lost in this game and I'm like, okay, this is pretty. I'll look at this. Oh, this is the extra fight here. I didn't notice. I'll fight this person, right? End up finding collectibles and all these different things. So I think for every gripe that we can have, like I said, I think the high is just when they take you there on those highs, you just forget all the stuff that you have the micro complaints about because it's that good of a game. So I can't recommend it enough. I don't see another game overtaking it for me, but we got a lot of games coming out. So who knows? We
got a lot of games coming out that we will talk about soon, but yeah, I mean, this is just me kind of like poking at the king. Like that's all they were doing. Like it's definitely the number one right
Absolutely.
now. Reese, I highly recommend, like if you don't have Game Pass already, I would just grab Game Pass because whatever we're calling your laptop, what are we calling it? Otis Earl.
Sure. It's named after Rey Mysterio.
Oh,
You're gonna need the help of Xbox's servers to run that bad boy on your. So if you have Game Pass, you can use cloud gaming instead of like your own PC's power processor.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, he does great. Listen, Oscar, who does great with games. It's just when I try to do anything else.
I don't know, Clair Obscur. That
yeah.
thing,
This game is
that's
like
a beastie boy.
one of
I'm
those.
trying to
It's
tell
an indie
you.
game, but you would look at it and be like, "Hold on, what kind of budget is
What
that?"
about Steam Deck? About Steam Deck?
I have played it for a little bit on the Steam Deck. I think it runs fine. I would turn down the settings a little bit, but for all my deck girls and guys, I definitely think it's doable for sure.
I do have access to an Xbox.
Oh, it's playing on Xbox.
Yeah, play on Xbox. Play on
Yeah.
Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah, playing on Xbox. All right, so the way we got now, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, 1 on the Power Rankings, 2 is Split Fiction. Let's figure out who's going to be 3 or 2.
I want to hear y'all talk about this WWE game. I haven't played it this year, so I want to know, Brian. Every year you fight for these games to the death.
I will.
So where are you putting this one at this
I'm
year,
ready
based
to
on what we
fight
have so
again.
far?
Ready to fight again.
No boy.
Let's start it all. So 2K24 was already, like, in my mind, at least the best that the 2K series has ever been. I think that is hands down the best WWE 2K game.
Debatable.
I would.
I'm sorry. Like the first couple of 2K games, when WWE switched over to 2K,
Yeah.
it had so much content that was cut. Like as the games kept going on. That's kind of my beef.
And I
with
think
those
we're
games.
back now. Like, we still don't have creative finisher. We still
You
don't
got the
have.
island.
We got the.
Yeah. Get into it. Let's get into it.
I was gonna ask how that is. I was like,
you got that card game too, right? You playing
Hey,
that card
there's a
game?
lot of people who like my faction. I'm not gonna knock
Oh,
my
man.
faction.
That's true. There's a lot
I
of
know
people that
my
do like that
faction.
one.
My faction's not my cup of tea, but there are a lot of people who like my faction.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
island
Also
is ass.
have expendable money.
And that's the trademark to the game. That's what they were selling. Every time I turn on Raw or SmackDown when the game was coming. Yeah.
So the island's a live action. I mean, it's a live service part of the game. Maybe they'll like revisit it because they already said that they're doing seasons. Season 1 is not great. It's like let me go into that. Let me talk about why the island is not great. So what the island was supposed to be is basically NBA 2K has the city, which is their online. It's damn near MMO. You can create a character, jump into a city. You can meet up with your boys or some randoms at a court, play basketball. You can go shopping at malls and like deck out your guy in like real brand clothing. You can do other real world things like deck out an apartment, meet celebrities or real world like NBA athletes and stuff like that. And Visual Concepts and WWE wanted to recreate that magic in WWE 2K. And the vibes are there. I'm going to say that. The vibes are there. So the way they... the way
in a video game, the vibes are there.
The vibes, like they match the vibes. The way that they approached it was it's kind of like the way I would describe it best is, have we all been to Universal Studios, either LA or okay? So you know how like Universal Studios doesn't really have rides; they have like these experiences where you kind of like trying to find a way.
3D rides.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
stuff
Like, yeah,
that.
you go on there and it's
You
kind
kind
of
of sit in
For like simulations
contraption and it blows smoke in your face,
Yeah.
shakes you. And
yeah, you know, like the Mummy or whatever. That's how I compare the island to, or at least what it was trying to go to. Like,
so the island is a D-box movie.
the island it's a big theme park. It's built like a theme park and it's broken off into wings that are inspired by certain wrestlers. So like there's a Cody inspired or like a babyface inspired world. That's basically like Cody's section. There's a Rey Mysterio section that basically is like a ode to all the like the luchas. There's an
Where
Undertaker.
you can buy like
one.
3 masks.
It's the gear that you can buy there is not a lot, and it's
man.
overpriced.
Oh, I didn't know that
is
part.
Is it
I didn't know that part.
in-game currency or real world money?
Is it like
You already know it's that VC.
So-
they bringing it over from NBA 2K.
It is VC.
Absolutely VC.
you pay $100 for the game and then you have to pay
So I bought
real
the
Paycheck.
Bloodline. I bought the Bloodline version. The Bloodline version.
Okay.
How much VC?
Oh, so that came with VC.
It came with some VC. The problem
Oh, okay,
is VC. VC is what you use to buy and customize your character in the island. VC is also used to improve the stats of your character in both the island and in My Rise.
And are they separate?
Yes.
Oh my.
Wait, Myra, like you can't.
Your My Rise character and your island character are two separate people. I get the logic.
So wait.
Yes.
All right, so are you saying like if I buy this game and I'm like, I'm not hopping online with this game.
Yes.
I just want to play the My Rise story.
Yes.
I can't level my character up because I need VC.
No, well,
I'm not getting like attribute points from like playing like My Rise.
And that's the thing. So, and I think that's why they make it separate, because you can grind My Rise and earn VC to improve your character. They don't want you to
dramatically less than what you would get if you just bought it.
Correct. Yes. But they don't want you to grind My Rise and then go online in the island and benefit from that. So I get the decision of why they kept it separate, but
can I not use the same character design? Like I can't use the same character and move set and everything I've already created. I have to create a whole new character for this mode.
you have to create a whole new character.
Man, put this game in
There's
number
no
10. Let's move on. Put this game in number 10. Let's move on. This is not the
Me,
year to
I'm about
fight
to be
for
like,
this,
nah,
man.
pack this game up.
This is not the year to
Pack
fight for
this
this
game
one.
up,
Go ahead, put it
son.
number 10. Call it a day.
I don't
I
want
was like,
to.
is it even on the list?
I don't
Yeah,
want
I
to
was-
knock. I don't want to knock it for the island because I didn't
Okay.
even really get to.
I'm about to say, what do you like about it? Yeah,
I didn't
what,
even
what
get to
is
what
the
was bad
standout?
about the island yet. That wasn't even what I considered bad about the.
Hey. How's that My Rise story? Because that's really all
It's
I'm
good.
really caring about.
The My Rise is really good. I liked last year's, like both of them. Both of them. I beat the last year. There was a separate My Rise story. For those of people that don't know, My Rise is basically you create a wrestler and you go through a pre-written story mode or whatever. Last year there was a separate one for if you had a male wrestler or if you had a female wrestler. And they were like drastically different. Like really
wow. Okay.
it was a disservice if you didn't like play both,
Play both,
in my opinion.
Very cool.
This one, they combined them. So you have to create a male and female wrestler, and they're both in the same story.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do you like switch from like
Yeah.
character to character as you go? Like,
It's
okay.
contextual based on where you're at in the story. So sometimes
Can
you play as
can
the
I
guy-
buy just that part of the game?
Well, you get
You
that
know,
part
you
of the
know,
game,
okay.
and you get everything else included. That's how you need to look at it. Everything else is a gift. You're buying my.
How long was My Rise? How long was a My Rise story?
The 20, 30. I think I put like 20, 30 in it. And I
That's not
pretty
bad.
much like, I don't want to say race to the finish. I'm not one that goes into the side quests in these too much.
For sure.
Because I'm already
makes
like I said, I got the bloodline version. I don't need to grind. I'm already the tribal chief.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Anyways, number 10. Next game.
I had a flashback to Halloween. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I had a
Brian out here shoving $100 bills down people's throats after he beat.
But yeah, I really do like the My Rise story. I think it's really good. There's a lot of low-key RPG elements in this one, like how to unlock things in side quests, not just more VC. Like you unlock like hidden gear or hidden wrestlers that aren't even unlocked in My Rise. And the story, I like how they're leaning into the campiness and the cheesiness of wrestling. Like the problem that 2K had was that it took wrestling a little too serious And I think like starting with last year, and I think even the year before, like they're really with My Rise leaning into how silly and over the top like WWE storylines can get.
For sure.
And it's really cool. The theme of this one,
that would get me.
yeah, it's so good. Like the theme of this one is there's an NXT. The NXT basically is tired of waiting to get called up. For people that aren't watching WWE, there's the WWE wrestlers, and then there's the NXT wrestlers that are basically like the WWE's D League, waiting to be called up to the main roster. And the NXT wrestlers are tired of waiting to be called up, so they form a faction called Mutiny.
Oh, Nexus. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, it's basically the Nexus storyline, and they come up and they're trying to take over. The cool part is, and I guess it's a slight spoiler for people that don't really care. It's not really a spoiler because the people who are listening are not going to watch. But the cool part is very early on in the story, people that are on the WWE main roster are changing sides. Like people who graduated from NXT are joining Mutiny.
Interesting.
Ooh.
So now you kind of like don't know who to trust.
How they writing better than the main?
I
the
know.
actual.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sold. Like,
Yeah, why they
Yeah,
better
like
than
some-
Triple H right now? What's going on?
Like some of the My Rise stories
They
have
be
been like
good.
over the years have been godlike.
They be good, man.
I might need to go
like,
back. Yeah, I might need to
Invasion
read
Angle,
something.
Nexus storyline. Sign me up.
It's good. Like
Yeah,
I
for sure.
definitely, it's worth checking out. I do think the controls last year were like a major improvement, where I would play the 2K games before. I think the controls are a little too complicated, and you would be in a lot of situations where you would want your wrestler to do something, and they would do something else by mistake. Whereas now I think you have way more control over your wrestler now, and that's carried over into 25. And lastly, I want to touch on the showcase mode. So,
Okay,
yeah, showcase mode. They every year they pick one wrestler, and you basically get to play the highlights of their career, kind of like a documentary. There were a lot of big complaints about showcase mode, mainly that they leaned heavily on real life footage. Like you'll be playing in the middle of the match, and then in the middle of the match, it'll cut away to real life footage of that match while you're at that part of the match.
I was about to say like I like that,
Man, it's kind of dope.
but for some reason like my brain's telling me like in an older episode when we talked about this, I was like, yeah, that's no.
He's just being a hater back there. That's all right.
The reason I didn't like it was because I wanna play that. I want to recreate that kind of moment.
Oh,
Like you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like I don't want to
Check
watch
it out.
Mick Foley get thrown off the Hell in the Cell. I want to throw his ass off the cell. You know what I'm saying? Like, no offense.
Oh,
Also,
I
you
did.
wouldn't be- I
No
get what you're saying.
offense.
So it cuts to that
Yeah.
actual real life. Yeah, that would annoy me.
Yeah, so you're setting it
Yeah,
up
like-
and then you're watching it happen.
Yeah, it's like a
No, that
bunch
would've
of
been
like objectives you have to hit in order to like get that
Mhm.
cutscene to like pop up. And I'm just gonna say it now. Like I kind of do like that because it's showcase mode. It's supposed to be designed for you to be like, oh wow, this like happened in real life. I want to go actually see the thing where this happened. Oh, like now I gotta buy Peacock, but still, like,
Well, I'm sorry, they listened to me and they took it out. So now it's like it's all in game. So it's in game footage instead of like cutting away to real life. So it's a little less jarring to me.
For sure.
I do think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
For people that like want to stream the game though.
Yeah. Yes.
Because like I remember like one of the like long time ago when like one of my first like streams ever, I was like, yo, I'm gonna do all the showcases. And like like Twitch and YouTube ate that up. It was like, nah, son.
And also like with the real life stuff, people come and go from WWE all the time, and then they lose the rights to like logos, they lose the rights to like people's face. So they cut to that footage and like half the faces are blurred out. Like the ref's not there. It's just that it's super jarring when they used to do
For
that.
sure.
Not there anymore. And it's centered around the bloodline. I don't want to focus too much on it, but it's centered around the bloodline. They do a really good job of focus on not just the main people in the bloodline currently, but like the entire Samoan Anoa Fatu lineage.
All 57,000.
All 57. Even Tamina got a match. It's crazy.
Don't talk about my girl like that, man.
love Tamina.
We love Tamina.
We love Tamina.
But I'm just saying her match, they had to make it up because she didn't.
She had some she had a few highlights in her career that they could have put in there. They
I'm
just
shocked they
being
didn't.
lazy, bro.
I don't think they wanted to go back to the Diva era because I think they had to go back. If you really wanted to show some
No,
Tamina
she
highlights,
had a few like right around the time she kind of popped off TV. Like she had a championship match that like it wasn't great, but it was a cool
her and
match.
Beth Phoenix, right? Or am I tripping?
No, it was a champ. No, like she was going against like whoever was SmackDown Women's Champion at the time.
Oh no, I don't know. I had to go back.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Tamina popped off with the 24/7 title picture.
Yeah,
Like I've always loved Tamina. I've
Yeah.
always said we love her. She came with Uso. This is not a wrestling podcast.
it's not a wrestling podcast. All right, so look, 2K25. We agreed it's gonna be like it's gonna sit at 10.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit it at 10, and we're gonna see
No.
where it
All
goes.
right, you know what? You know what? Let me put something down there with it.
Okay.
Let me put something down there with it. I want to talk about my Tribe 9 game real quick.
Let's talk about Tribe now. Let's talk about. We're talking about passion projects now. Let's talk about Tribe 9.
Because I feel like this is how we gonna build a bond this year. Our game's gonna be right next to each other, no matter what.
That's crazy.
And we go try to fight for it, hopefully. But all right, so yeah, Tribe 9, it just came out this of course it just came out this year, but it's by a little studio, I do believe it's called Tokyo. Funny play on Tokyo, but and I don't know if you guys are like also anime fans, but it's by the people that do the Danganronpa games and anime.
Yeah, it's definitely got the art style
Oh.
for sure.
But it is a action RPG, but you also have Phoenix Wright style trials in it that are played out in baseball games. Like extreme citywide baseball games.
I got the trailer up. I'm gonna drop it in the chat.
Okay, I didn't know about this. Wait a minute.
And not only that, like they have a few extra modes in this game that like shouldn't be in there. There's a rhythm game mode that's in the game as well. That's actually a part of like side story stuff. And like I said, to be perfectly honest, like this game, it just takes a whole bunch of stuff from a whole bunch of different RPGs and kind of throws it all into one game. But it works. It has really good writing. It's a classic story about a guy that's an extreme baseball player, and like two of his teammates coming together to try to get him out of this simulation that he's in the very beginning of the game. And actually, like I said, if you guys ever played or watched Danganronpa, they're going up against a silly mascot that kind of puts them in a death game. Except like these death games are like citywide, and each city has its own specific rules to its own death game. And like part of that is part of you trying to overcome this death game is doing a lot of dungeon crawling, fighting a whole bunch of bosses and stuff like that, and collecting characters, which you do through a gacha system, because this is also a gacha game.
I was about to
believe it or
get to
not.
that. Because it is free to play. So I wanted to know like how the monetization, like what's happening there.
So I like I said, like wasn't on my bingo card. I'd be playing a lot of gacha games between 2014 and 2024 and 2025 for better times, right? But out of the games that I've played, you really don't have to spend money to get characters in this game. Like everything you do in game, like will get you the type of currency you need to get pulled so you can pull for characters.
Mhm.
Like if you find a secret area, or if they have like graffiti everywhere that you find, or if you do like a mission, you get currency for that. Logging in gets you currency, like if there's some type of event going on as well. So this game is really free to play friendly. There's a lot of interesting characters. Each character has like its own unique play style, and like you put these characters together in a team of 3, and different teams like do different things where you have them set up together. So it takes a lot of thought. One of the things that I will say though about the game that, like I said, I started noticing after I started playing Expedition 33 is, like if once you get locked in with a character, you really like a character, like a lot of the regular fights that you're grinding get kind of repetitive. So like if you're not a fan of like minor grinding, because there is like some minor grinding, like it might get boring to you. Again, like I personally love the Danganronpa art style,
Mm-hmm.
but some people think it's like really jarring.
Why do people say that?
Some people do. I'm not saying like everybody does, but some people do think it's like a little jarring. So like I said, there's small things where you realize like, yeah, like this is like a gacha game.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want you to buy these characters because they look interesting, and all the characters are characters. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds crazy, but like they all have like their own unique personalities. Like they all follow different anime tropes that people love and or hate, whichever. And I don't know, like I just felt like there was a lot of, for something like this, it could have been very low effort, but I feel like they put like a lot of effort into this. I feel like they made the game interesting and gave you a lot of different things to do. Like I was playing the game earlier today, and like the little extreme baseball game that you play, that's normally the trial system that you would use like for big boss fights, you can actually play it as a rank match and play against people. So it has a PvP mode.
Oh. Yeah, I figured
And
that's
like,
where there's got to be some sort of other incentive for you to want to have a perfect squad and spend money.
yeah, so like you do. So the funny thing is like you actually, if you don't have enough characters to fill out a whole team,
Mm-hmm.
they give you like guest characters that are like filler characters. They're like not really strong, but you could put them in specific places like on the baseball field, like that, makes them where they won't screw up your gameplay too much. Even though like I said, like I played a rank match earlier today for the first time because I was just like, yeah, like I haven't tried this mode yet. Let me try it out, before I get to talking about it. And like I blew the person out because like I put a lot of time into the game. So like I didn't have any like filler characters, and all my characters were like very close to max level. So like I said, like it's very interesting. Did you guys like get a chance to actually like watch some of the trailer? Because like I said, I know it's wild looking.
I am a fan of that art style. Like I was like, oh,
I went a step further. I even got it downloaded on my Steam Deck. I did not get to play it yet.
And I'm 100% sure it's Steam Deck friendly. It's not like very graphics intensive, and actually like when you're doing the dungeon crawling, like it gives you like that old school pixely 2D animation when you're walking around for your characters, and then like it flips to like the 3D the 3D backgrounds, the 3D characters, like when you actually go into battle. Like I said, I think it's a really cool love letter to RPGs. I think it's a really free to play, friendly gacha game too. And like the story is really good, and the voice acting is actually really good too. Like I didn't really look up who was doing what voices because as of right now, I do believe everything's in Japanese, but it is getting a English dub soon. I think they're just currently working on it. And also like the game has a ton of well, I won't say a ton of replay value because we're nowhere near close to the end of the story because they've been releasing the story every month as free chapters. So like currently we're in chapter 3 of the story, and like I said, it's just we've been getting new chapters like every, I think like 2.5 months, something like that. And it takes us to a new area where we fight like a new big villain. And that new area also comes with like new characters and everything like that too. So like I'm very excited to see where the game's going. It was my RPG of the year until Expedition 33 like came along. But I'm still gonna stand this game. Like you have nothing to lose by giving it a try outside of like your time. That's it. I think that's all it's really asking for is a little bit of your time.
Where do you want to put Tribe 9, Carl?
10.
Okay. I'm okay.
Knocking out the park.
I thought you wanted to be poetic and put Tribe 9 at number 9, and we were going to have.
Like I told you, we got a bond this year.
we.
Like it, I feel like if you play this game, you're gonna like it.
I regret not playing it
And
before this discussion.
And I feel like I feel like I'm working on an arrangement here. You keep younging, I'll keep younging. You know what I'm saying?
We still got a lot of games to talk about. I can't make any promises. You know what else I can't make a promise about? Questions at realgameclick.com. You can hit us up at questions@realgameclick.com. You can send us anything. You can send us your fan art. You can send us your Tribe 9 art. You can send us your show me your creative wrestler. Matter of fact, let's bond over that. Shoot me your creative superstar and I'll show you mine. Show me yours and I'll show you mine. And if you don't want to do it via email, you can do it via social media. You can hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube at Real Game Click. If you're watching this and not listening to this, you can find us on your favorite podcast platform by searching Game Click on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. We're the ones with the blue icon. Make sure to subscribe and leave a review. Every single review helps. If you're listening and not watching, you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@RealGameClick. Make sure to hit subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any of our podcast clips and IRL content. Don't go nowhere. We got to finish the rest of this list, y'all. We're going to be right back, though. Welcome back. Let's pull up, just in case you forgot, in the couple of seconds we were gone, even though we were actually gone for a while. But so the way the power rankings look now: 10, Tribe 9, 9, WWE 2K25. A lot of nothing right now. 2, Split Fiction, and 1, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We got some gaps to fill. We got plenty of games to fill them. Let's talk about, Reese, I want to hear you talk about Wonder Stop.
Okay. Resident Cozy Gamer here.
Yes.
It's a cozy game with a twist. I have talked about this a couple of times. I have gotten to the twist. It is a game about a fallen warrior who is trying to pick herself up kind of by her bootstraps, and she's in this world where she is now forced to make tea for people. And in there, it's kind of like a woe is me, now I have to make this tea. And it's a game that actually makes you stop and take time. So you can't power through it. So it's a cozy game with a twist. It is from the makers of, I believe it's Stanley Parable, which I haven't played, but you played it. And you knew, you was like, it's not just a cozy game.
Yeah.
You said it, and it's not. And it has a dark twist in it. Quick spoiler alert, but not really a spoiler alert. After the twist and everything gets darker, there's some tears that are shed. Listen, I really enjoy this game. I really enjoy this game. I love any gathering aspects. I love any cooking aspects, any mixing aspects. And so during this time, you really, while you're running this tea house, you are interacting with the different customers, and based on their needs, you learn their stories, and you have to make tea based off of the ingredients that they ask for. You grow them, and then once the game switches to that darker element, then that's when they start requesting more and more weird combinations, and that's where I'm gonna stop because I'm not gonna give away too much. But this
Interesting.
game it did frustrate me because when I'm in my cozy gaming mood, I want to keep going, and they're like, "No, we have nothing for you to do," and I'm just like, "What? No, what do you mean? Let me finish." And they're like, "Come back later."
Mhm.
I hated it. Okay, I can't say enough good things about this game.
Is there anything in this game that you think will break through to the general non-cozy gamer audience, or do you think this is still just, secluded to the cozy gamers and it's just that good of a cozy game?
Absolutely not. I think the story elements of this
Mm,
will definitely bring people who are not typically in the cozy game. I think it has a really good story as well.
okay.
I think it's very relatable.
Mhm.
Again, it gets very dark, but real life is dark as well. So.
Yeah, I played the demo, which is about the first 2 to 3 hours, I think, of the game. Is a pretty chunky demo. The reason this was on my radar, like Reese pointed out, this is from the maker of the Stanley Parable. I dropped the trailer to both games in our Discord chat. If you have not played the Stanley Parable, I highly recommend that. It's and I recommend you go into that as blind as possible. And the reason why I was so into Wonder Stop is because when you play Stanley Parable, it ends up being something that it does not portray itself to be. And that's the most I could say about it without spoiling anything. So I seen Wonder Stop and I seen who made it, and I was like, oh, this is going to end up, it looks like a cozy game, and it's going to end up being a freaking, I don't know, turn-based RPG or something like that. By the end of it doesn't, without spoiling it, the twist is not really that extreme, but it is probably, I don't want to say, is the most adventurous with its story that I think I've ever seen with modern cozy games. I think I can say that. It does a very good job of portraying, like, the overarching theme is like basically like the modern day millennial feeling like they have to like be in hustle mode all the time, and like Bailey, the main character, is that person, and she is now in a situation where she has to force herself to slow down and not, like, everything that she does not have to contribute to her ideal end goal. And watching her like learn this life through like actual gameplay mechanics is like, it's very well done in Wonder Stop. And like even me saying that is not taking away from you like actually like reliving it, like playing it. Like, don't think I'm spoiling the game. Like, there is a lot in it that I'm not even revealing in regards to that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But at the end of the day, it is a cozy game. So I don't know if you like if you are extremely adverse to cozy games, if like something like Animal Crossing didn't even like pique your interest. I don't know if Wonder Stop's going to be that game that's going to win you over.
Okay, gotcha.
But that's yeah.
I was gonna say, I remember like when we were doing like the demos episode, like we talked about it and watched the trailer, and I know like bringing up Animal Crossing, like that wasn't my jam, but like this seemed really good because of like the story elements to it, and like it's definitely like in my wish list now, like because of that. So like, like it's definitely something like I'm gonna play sometime soon.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna give it a try. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of interesting tropes in there, like the failure trope. It's very relatable. So that's how I probably it resonates.
I like a good heartbreaking story.
Yeah, and the production value. The production value is very high. Like it's 100% voice acted. Like, right? Like I'm pretty sure like every single word is voice acted. There's some really good cutscenes. There are jokes that are actually legit funny. Like it's yeah. There's very high production value in this game. I didn't beat it yet, so I can't,
I neither. Part of it was stop telling me to stop.
Yeah. It's really good. I can definitely, confirm everything that Reese is saying. With that being said, I don't know where to put it. Me personally, as somebody who has played both this and WWE, I am enjoying WWE a little more.
You're not a cozy gamer.
And that is true. That is true. That is true. I am slanted.
Told you, I have a goal. We're gonna do this Stardew Valley co-op. I'm gonna get y'all into cozy gaming.
I'm with it. I mean,
it depends on the type. I don't know. Like, is Overcooked considered like cozy?
No.
Not when
Like,
you're playing with me.
Not cozy.
Not when you're playing with me.
Not cozy.
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
It's not.
I will cry.
I'm Chef Ramsay in that game.
Like if I would sign up for Hell's
I'm
Kitchen if I want to work.
Get on the
order, right?
dishes!
See, I'm not. No.
My fault, damn.
We should play Overcooked though.
Always down.
I'm scared. I'm scared. I'll cry. Yes, chef.
Like getting PTSD from the whole job.
For the time being, can we
I
know-
think I'm gonna agree. Put it on the list.
I know I want I think well I mean it's there's 6 blank spots. So it's better than
Yeah.
blank.
Okay, so yes, I think we should.
Let's move WWE up.
Oh, you over here pushing agendas. I see
I'm
what
not
you're doing.
if anybody else wants to speak up
Let
on
me
one
play
of
this
the
game so I can knock WWE back down. Yeah, let me play this game.
Shall we put it on 10 and just move?
let's put it on
Move the
10.
space
Let's
up.
put it on 10.
And just move a space.
And
Yeah.
let's play it by ear.
I feel like cozy games
I
kind of
want
always.
to play this because I don't know. Like, I feel like
It's a good filler game.
I feel like
That's crazy.
yeah, it does sound.
It sounds better.
I
I
was.
wouldn't say that. I'll be honest.
Can you play as a tribal chief in Wonder Stop? I don't
See,
think
this is what
so.
I'm talking about.
I don't think so.
You do play as a warrior. So
But I think you're a full-time employee in Wonder Stop.
Wow. Wow.
I think it's a good filler game. Because they do require you to leave at some points and be like, hey, yeah, you did all you could do. You've been playing for a good hour and a half. Chill out. I think it's one of those games you leave and you're like, you know what? I'll come back and you play other games. It's a good filler game.
Gotcha.
It's also, side note, you said something about Animal Crossing. I'm not that cozy of a gamer.
I love Animal Crossing. That got me through the panty.
It
I
did.
appreciate
It got
Animal
me through the
Crossing.
pandemic,
Absolutely.
but now I hate it. As someone with ADHD, as a neurodivergent girly, the real time, and I can't jump ahead because then that'll mess up my Dreamlight Valley. Then that'll mess up my other
Mm.
games. I can't time skip. I'm like, you know what, Tom Nook, you gonna get this payment when you get it.
Can I hit us with a quick one real quick?
Sure.
Just gonna throw it on the list
Throw it on the list.
real fast. I think where it'll be put is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Say Monster Hunter Wilds, put that dead in the middle at 5.
Dead in the middle.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be way hotter on it.
No. So all right.
It's okay.
It's Monster Hunter. The Monster Hunter is a great great game, and like the weird thing about this game is this, right? You're either don't have are not linking with your friends and you're not playing it, or you got your squad and you're always playing it.
Yeah.
And like, I know the game's good. It's getting like content all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and like I'm doing this as like a quick hit just to kind of put it like right in the middle, and then let's just move on because we could argue it more later as
That's
more
true.
stuff drops.
For sure.
But because I think like Monster Hunter Wilds is definitely going to be like a game that like it's going to survive the list no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter, like where we decide to actually put it on the list, like in the end. So I'm just like, you know what? From right now, let's just put it dead middle. It's a good game. We love it. Looks great. They just kind of built on what was already there. The changes that they did make, like, weren't like, I'm not gonna say that like they're groundbreaking or anything like that, but they are cool. They are different, and yeah, like let's just move on. It's a good game. It's real quick.
You got it, man. Hey, you are like I said, I've played only the closed beta. I haven't played the full game yet, but the betas, that was, from what I've heard, a good representation of what the final game was. And I played a good bit of it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
More monsters, like, you know, like in the actual game, like more than I even.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was playing, I got to a part where I was just like, "Oh, I'm at I beat the game," and it was like, "Oh no, you didn't." I'm like, "Oh, the story's still going." So, like I said, really good game. 5 is good for now. Like until like, you know, like we really start until we get like some of the other bangers that are coming later, and we can.
I got you. I understand. Power
Discuss that
rankings.
later.
The power rankings is dynamic. Things can move up. Things can move down, and we know for sure it need to be on here. So
yeah.
I got you on here. One to stop 10. Tribe 99. Damn. So it ended up being there.
Okay, I'll take it.
WWE 2K25 at 8. 6 and 7 are blank. 5 is Monster Hunter Wilds. 4 and 3 are blank. 2 Split Fiction. 1 Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
I think I have ours 6 and 7.
Ooh, talk to me.
7, I would put the first Berserker Kazan.
Okay.
I think as somebody that has fallen in love with From Software games just in the last like 2 years, there's a lot of people that try to mimic that. I think the last time we talked about it on this show, there's definitely like a Miyazaki like university type thing that people have been joking around about, right? Like, and I think I haven't felt this way about one of them since Liza P. Maybe on a lesser scale. I don't think it's at the same level as I felt when I first played Liza P. But the combat's really engaging. The story is definitely, it leaves a lot to be desired. And that's why the game that I would put above it is South of Midnight. I think South of Midnight at number 6 for me is where I would put it based on where I am with the game right now. I can see, I think the acclaim surrounding Monster Hunter has just been a little bit more. And I think there's a very glaring issue with South of Midnight that everybody's complaining about, which is just the gameplay overall. The combat especially, I think, leaves a lot to be desired outside of the actual story elements. But even with that, I think the story is so much stronger than the first Berserker that I would still put it above that game. And it could be, I'm black, black is, gaming podcast. I'm a little biased, right? But I would put it over first Berserker in my opinion. So I would be comfortable with that being 6 and 7. I also think that, we still have Assassin's Creed on here. So, that one I know is, a little bit up in the air too. But that's where I would put for 6 and 7 for me.
I agree. I do not have so I have some opinions on first Berserker Design. I do agree with everything you said. Also, again, I've not played the full game. I've only played the demo, which I do think is the game is a pretty long game, but the demo itself is a pretty long demo.
Yeah, it was a decent demo for sure. That's what got me to buy the game was I was saying playing through the demo. I decided to copy it.
And I will agree to say out of a lot of, it's up there in regards to Souls-like games not made by From.
Absolutely, yep.
I'm not a fan of how much it doesn't, like, it felt to me like it feared diverting from the formula. Like, normally, like, normally a Souls-like would inject something that makes it feel like it's adding
identity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Liza P is like the perfect example where, like, yes, it's definitely like heavily inspired by Bloodborne, but it's doing a lot of its own stuff where it's kind of like warranting its existence. And
or even the world in it is interesting, right?
Yes.
I can't say the same for this world.
Yes.
I can tell you a thing about the lore in this game, and I'm almost at the end of it. I promise you, I can't. Right? So, I think that speaks to it for sure. Right? It's not a perfect game by any means, but I think if you enjoy this style of game, if you like action games, if you even wanted to try, playing a game that has things like parries in it, I think this is a good starter for sure.
Yeah, which I do. I love Souls likes. I think this is like a really good Souls. I think the combat is fun as hell, which is like that's the first goal when you're making a Souls like. Like the combat's got to be fun, it's got to be engaging, it's got to be challenging, and it's got all that in spades. I'm not a big. I know shit all about the DNF universe, so like.
For sure.
I don't know if it's nailing that or whatever, but maybe Carl can speak more on that. Is that like Dungeon Fighter like? Okay.
All right. So like,
so he said, "Where you want me to start?"
Yeah, like no, don't put that on me. I don't know the lore either. From what I know about the game is that they just took the Berserker class from Dungeon Fighter and gave it lore by giving it.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So like that's pretty much all I know about it, and like that. And like even when it comes to like DNF, like all I know about like the Berserker is that like he was annoying to fight in the fighting game DNF Duel. And that's all I know.
For sure.
South of Midnight I can speak way more to. I've beaten it twice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we got a review code. I played it before it came out. I really liked my time. It's flawed. I can understand why people say it's flawed, but I think that I don't think it's not necessarily flawed. I think it's just inspired by a genre of game that's kind of like went extinct. Like it very much reminds me of like the early 2000 action platformers like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, Voodoo Vince, freaking
Deep Cut,
American McGee's Alice, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. So like it's very much structured like that. You're in like these levels where like it's linear, but it's kind of branching path where you're supposed to explore. There's some platforming that's like good enough. There's some combat that's good enough, but you're really there because like the world is charming as hell.
Absolutely.
That is the carrot on the stick, and South of Midnight like really does that. The story is really good. The main character is amazing. Yes. The cast of characters is like really, really, really cool. I brought this up in passing, and I really don't want to talk about it too much because, Sergio, you said you haven't beaten it yet. The ending doesn't stick the landing.
I've heard that.
So
I've heard that from you and multiple people.
Yeah, that's really like that kind of bummed me out. The one thing about South of Midnight, the one of many things, is the music and the way it's utilized. Like it's very well like sewn into the world and where you're at in the level. Like the two-toe Tom fight, I think is like the best. Yeah, it's the best part about it, like where it's a multi-stage boss fight, and each stage like the lyrics are literally going along with like explaining the story of two-toe Tom you're fighting as you're fighting him. Like I just think it's so cool. It's very well done. I don't know what witchcraft they did to make it work like that, but it's very cool. I'm not from New Orleans. I don't have any like Creole like attachment, but I think it's cool to see a game like honor that lineage so well and so accurately. And I really like that Tim Burton-y stop motion stuff. So I'm
glad we're bringing that to games now.
That always hooks me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think they're both, I agree with where you placed them both on the list.
Gotcha. With that, I think to me that leaves like, to me, 2 games, maybe even 3, I guess, depending on how we're feeling about one of them, that I think could realistically make up the rest of this list. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Blueprints, I think has to be on here. We haven't talked about it yet, but Blueprints is absolutely going to be on this list.
For sure.
And Avowed, right? I think all 3 of those we have to discuss. We have, what, 2 slots left?
Yes, 2 slots
Right.
left.
So something's got to go. Or at least push some, down.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, anything can happen.
I haven't played Assassin's Creed Shadows, so I'm very curious for those that have, where you would put that game on this list.
Actually, let me see if I can pull up how many hours I have in. I'm pretty far in it. I think, am I the only person who has played it?
Yeah,
I think so.
so.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
While we're talking about that, does the number 2 slot open?
I mean,
No,
we can
3
move.
slot.
2 is split fiction. 3 is blank.
Okay.
You wanna
I don't
just
know
go-
if I'm ready to argue it over split fiction yet. But Blueprints is taking at number 3 for me. And I don't think it's close.
Regale us.
I think just going back to where we are with gaming, and the fact that once again, in any game that nobody had any anticipation for this year really before it came out, or to tap into the roguelike genre that's really, striking anew and taking over right now, and to do it in a way that still feels so fresh, still feels so rewarding, to the point where you are able to roll credits in this game and get 30 hours into it, and still discover new content afterwards. Somebody that, for me, and I've said it on this show before, I am not a puzzle gamer. I hate puzzles. I do not like them. I can't wrap my mind around it. I just want to beat things up, shoot things, whatever the case may be. I'm going to enjoy my time. And I'm just enthralled with the puzzles in this game, to the point where I have a notebook. I'm taking notes, as I sit on my PC and play this game. I love watching other people play, and every time I watch somebody else play, they're discovering something new that another group didn't before. And this is a type of game where, even when we talked about it the last time, I think there was so much in it that is so on the nose in terms of the actual gameplay itself, but even still, I didn't want to spoil anything because there's so much within this world to discover. The lore is incredible. The way they lay out the puzzles is incredible. And from it to come from just, I think one person developed this game. I think it's just so impressive. And like I said, I can't speak enough praises of it, especially coming from a standpoint of not wanting to. I didn't know this game was coming out, and I think it just really smacked everybody in the face of how good it is. So I can't recommend it enough. Also on Game Pass, I think that's another discussion we can have of how incredible the value of Game Pass is right now. And I think in a world of, us getting $80 and we're even theorizing $100 games, pretty soon, I think for a game to come out like this at the price point it has, and to have that much replay value and to be developed by the team or the person that did it, I think it's just incredible. So I would definitely put it in number 3. Can't argue over split fiction yet, but I think by the end of the year, I may feel differently.
Yeah, I agree with you. Only because of where I'm at in the game. I have not finished it yet.
Right.
I have not rolled credits. I've heard that that really changed a lot of people's feelings for the better.
Absolutely.
People are already hot on the game, and then when you finish the game and you see it through, I know people that have put tens of hundreds of hours in this game.
Yep.
And it's crazy to me how in depth this game is. This really smacked me out of nowhere.
Same. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think you're right in that it could have been so baseline, right? This could have been an easy 10, 15 hour, what is the game, $40 if that. This could have been an easy game. We'd have been like, okay, cool, this is really good. I enjoy my time. But the amount of content that is packed into here that you can either take the time after you roll credits to discover, or you can just roll credits and be done, I think is very impressive. And yeah, I think that's the most impressive part about it, is how in depth it goes, when it could have just been such a baseline game for the price point, especially.
Yeah, it's funny, when I played this, I came right off of a game that came out in 2024 that I missed, that I wish I didn't, because I probably would have argued for it to be on our power rankings, of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another one I haven't gotten to.
Yeah.
But that was at the Game Awards and everything. Yeah.
Super puzzle, very much you're walking around the world, you're interacting with puzzles, you're solving puzzles, and like those puzzles like push you further through the world. It's kind of like the same vibe as Blueprint.
It's not roguelike.
It's not roguelike. Yeah.
Right.
It's very much scripted. So it's funny, like I got off of Lorelei, and that's when I immediately heard about Blueprint. So I hopped on that. Like my wife seen me go from like back to back, and she's like, "You are a nerd. This is." You supposed to be playing games. You in here doing like math? Like what are we? I got my calculator out.
But that's how fun it is.
Yes.
Like, I love those math
I
puzzles
do
in
too.
that game. And let me tell you something. Math, once again, I hate that subject.
Yeah.
It was my least favorite subject. But every time I get to the little board and do the little, I'm like, oh man, like this is so intriguing to me, right? I can't explain it. I don't know what it is about the game, but I love the puzzles in it. As somebody that hates puzzles, I genuinely don't know what it is.
Yeah, I really like it harkens me back to the Professor Layton series. Like I really like those. And I just think this game is like, and games like it, like Blueprints and like Lorelei and Elisa Last. I mean, not necessarily Lorelei because those puzzles are legit like hard.
Yeah, those are tough. I've heard those are really
But a puzzle game that nails that they're hard enough to where that when you eventually solve them, it makes you feel good about yourself.
Absolutely.
Blueprints does that. So if you need that, everybody needs that. I think everybody could use that. Blueprints is that joint for you. Like, oh damn, man, but I'm all right.
Absolutely.
My degree was not a waste of money. It's okay.
It's one of the best parts of gaming.
So I like it at 3 for now. Like I said, let's revisit this later on in the year when maybe you and me both finish it, or like anybody else decides to hop in. It's on Game Pass, like we said.
Steam Deck compatible as well.
Steam
I've been playing it on the Steam Deck, and that's my platform of choice for it. So definitely give it a try.
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah, you gotta let me know what's the word on this one.
I have a day, 4 hours, and 25 minutes into it.
Okay.
So about 30 hours.
Mhm.
And I am very hot on it. It is. I have not been in love with the Assassin's Creed series. Like I think we've teased this before. Since like, I have not beaten an Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh wow! So even before I thought I was out of it. I think I beat Unity or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I beat Unity. Yeah.
Nope. I have not felt inclined to see an Assassin's Creed 2.
When I got
it.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, I've played all of them, and not to say that I didn't like I know a lot of people like really put Unity up there and Brotherhood up there.
Sure.
Unity?
Unity was just broken.
Brotherhood.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just broken.
Brotherhood Black Flag, like is another one like people put up there. When Ubisoft decided to reinvent Assassin's Creed with Origins, I was on the other side of like everybody's opinion, where like people really liked the reinvention, and I thought it kind of I thought it kind of like lost its way. Like Assassin's Creed, as much as everybody complained about all the Assassin's Creed being the same game over and over and over again.
For sure.
And I did think it needed a breath of fresh air. I think it was too much of a departure from the Assassin's Creed formula, to whereas it was no need to even tie the Assassin's Creed name to those games. Like I just think they could have been just new IP at that point.
For sure.
Shadows is a slight return to form while still kind of like changing it up enough to where it does feel like Assassin's Creed with a fresh coat of paint. So the way the gameplay is structured is you play as Naue. Man, it's been a while since I've played it because
last time you loaded it up.
Because I've been playing Expedition 33. But
my guy.
You play as Naue, which actually is one of my gripes with the game. Not that you play as Naue, that the game was marketed as like there were 2 protagonists that you can kind of pick and play at your will. The way the game starts is you play as Yasuke for like maybe like 15 minutes. Then you switch to Naue. I feel like I'm butchering her name. And you are forced as her. Like you can't even pick Yasuke for the next like 10 hours of the game.
10 hours?
Yes, you are stuck as the shinobi for like the next
Wow.
the next 10 hours until she meets Yasuke in the story. And then you can switch back and forth between Yasuke.
I mean, that just feels like such a deep time into the game where they marketed it as such a, a duality story.
Yeah.
That's a lot of gameplay to get to that. Interesting.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
me,
like by the time I like switch back to Yasuke, like I forgot how to play him.
and that was my experience where like I finally unlocked Yasuke and I was really excited about that. But by the time I had already like, I don't want to say this may be hyperbolic, but I built a bond with Naoe and the way she plays and the way she interacts with the world to where like I really only used Yasuke for very niche instances. Outside of that, I really preferred playing as Naoe, and I don't know if that was like by design by the game, which like again, I'm bringing the tinfoil hat back that Hino had on earlier, and I'm putting it on, and I feel like Ubisoft.
It's not a hate.
This is of course correct, yes, from like everybody overreacting with like Yasuke being in the game, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna keep him in here. We don't want to feel like we don't want anybody to think we're taking him out, but let's like dial it back a bit. Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, what 2 delays since like the hate really first started with that? Like I can see that for sure.
That
was much better than the throwing money at Sega conspiracy. I don't know about that.
I'm not that far off the deep end. Like my yarns are connected.
For sure. I can see it. I can definitely see it.
But I that being said, I really do like the core gameplay. It's free enough to where like you can kind of make your decisions and tackle the story in the order that you like, where I really like that. I don't know if it's fair to credit Breath of the Wild for creating that, but I think I can at least say like it popularized it in modern gaming. That whole like short tutorial drops you in a vast open world. Tackle whatever you want to do. Like you can, if you want to go fight Ganon, go do it. If you want to, go do whatever, like, and that's kind of what Assassin's Creed does. It tells you up front that these are like the 10 bad guys that you need to kill. And you can approach that however you want to approach it. You can go like dead reckon and go try to kill those 10 guys, or you can like go open up the open world, and by doing that, you're now figuring out like, oh snap, there are other families that need to die too. I know that sounds crazy. But
I'm intrigued.
But yeah, that's it's very much I don't want to give it too much credit. It's not one for one a comparison to Breath of the Wild, but that's what I think of when I think of this kind of gameplay loop.
Gotcha. And
with
that being said,
yeah,
where are you putting it?
I think it is like right now. I may be still in the honeymoon phase.
Okay.
And without playing the full version of Monster Hunter Wilds, I still think it's insane to put this game over Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think so. So I definitely think Wilds should move up to 4.
Okay.
I do.
South of Midnight.
I don't know, man.
You just did all that gameplay to finish, so I'm trying to see.
I really, really like South of Midnight.
South of Midnight is also like it's very black magic.
It's
right. So I like I said, I will admit I'm very biased with that game. I'm biased. As shit with that game. I will admit.
But it's
black protagonist that has magic in New Orleans.
I just got this feeling.
I mean, look at me
about Assassin's Creed though. That like it's going to get bumped off the list anyway, because like the story sounds exactly like the another game that we're getting later this year.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I haven't beaten Assassin's Creed Shadows, and a lot of people who have beaten Assassin's Creed Shadows, that ending has changed. That it is one, soured their taste for the game, and 2, reaffirmed the money hungriness of Ubisoft.
Oh, no.
So
right.
if there's already a season pass planned for Assassin's Creed Shadows. And apparently, like, you literally have to get the season pass to kind of unlock the canon story ending for Shadows.
Put it at the bottom. It don't need to be on the list, dog. Are you being for real?
I'm dead serious. From
That
what
is insane, dog.
I cannot confirm that personally because I have not beaten it myself. But everybody I know who's beaten it, they are saying that that's what it feels like.
You drop a AC every year. Why do we need a season pass?
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to stop that. Maybe they are trying to stop the yearly Assassin's Creed. But also, like, if this is legit that you are making people pay extra, like the game's already $70 base. The base game is $70, and now you're trying to make people pay more for the canon ending is crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm good, brother. Y'all
got it. yeah, I got it. I'll let you have that one, bro. I don't know. That's going in the back line for me. Got that one.
But it's fun. If you are, I do highly recommend it. If you are a person who fell out of love with Assassin's Creed, I do think this will be the game that wins you back.
Okay.
Sans ending.
I've definitely fallen out of love, but I still will not be playing after what you just told me.
Yeah. You just unsold it for me.
Yeah, I'm not touching that game.
Come on, Ghost of Yote.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think I'm okay with it being a new South of Midnight. I do think that I really do. Outside of it being a black protagonist and a black centered world, I just really like that genre of game, and I really think that platformers need to come back.
I agree.
Platformers need to come back, and I mean like non-Nintendo platformers. Like Astro Bot had its time last year.
Mm-hmm.
Just need somebody to make that one Smash one that has that hook.
Let's do it. So over South, it sounds like you want to put First Berserker over.
Look, man, I would,
Yes.
but I completely understand. Like, I think, like you said, this Assassin's Creed, this iteration has gripped a lot of people back into the franchise, right? And I think I haven't heard. This is the first time in a while I ever heard unanimously bad things about an Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And usually coming from Ubisoft, that's usually a good thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be opposed to it being over it. I can't see myself ever, even if I played this game, it'd be hard for me to believe that I would come out of it thinking that I enjoyed it more than First Berserker. But I think that's a perfectly good game to place over First Berserker if it were to be in that spot.
And again, like, games don't have to move like literally laterally up or down. If we decide, if we play Ghost of Yote and we're like, Ghost of Yote is a better samurai game than this game, we can just swap them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can see that.
Not
What
making
you talking is not even a samurai game. Really?
I mean, it depends on,
I've never played an Assassin's Creed. I've never played an Assassin's Creed, and I know you compare this to Breath of the Wild. Me as a Breath of the Wild, again,
Yeah.
What that'd be something that I would think that's. I love magic. I love fantasy.
So the thing that the structure, no. The structure is definitely there. Like the freedom of exploring the world and doing tackling what you want in the order that you want to do it. That's there. I will say that the world does not feel as alive as the world of Breath of the Wild, where Breath of the Wild, you'll like go into a town, something could be happening in that town, and like you'll feel like you've walked into something organically while it's happening. That kind of thing doesn't happen in Shadows. I will say that when you explore, for the most part, you do get rewarded. Like the thing about Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you can just pick a direction, walk in that direction, and eventually like bump into something that you feel like this was worth it.
Right.
And that happens in Shadows a lot. Like you will bump into like some town that you didn't have on your map. You go into it and there might be some like high level loot that you would have not found if you were just like following objectives.
I was like,
so if that's your jam, like, yeah, I do think you're going to get the same kind of vibes. to a lesser degree. Like Breath of the Wild is like up here. Like I'm not putting Shadows up there in regards to quality. I'm just saying like clearly they got some inspiration from the Breath of the Wild structure. Yeah.
I think that leaves us with only one game to discuss that we wanted to talk about, which is Avowed, right? Which I think only you and I have played.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah, I got.
So you let me know. What are you feeling with this game?
I'm going to pull up how much I put in Avowed, which I'm going to say I put 7 hours.
Oh, you only put 7?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And so I made it to the second map.
Okay.
Yeah, because so Avowed is not open world, it's open zone for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
It looks like I have about almost 30 hours into it.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of playtime.
And you beat it?
I did not roll credits.
Okay.
Did not roll credits.
I really like Obsidian. I really like Outer Worlds more than a lot of people did.
Okay.
I don't think and again, I only have 7 hours into it, so that might be the reason why. I don't think I have the same connection to Avowed that I got from Outer Worlds.
I don't have that precedent. I never played the Outer World, so I can't, speak to that really. So this is really like I guess my first like Obsidian RPG. I do think that when I first started playing this game, I was in love with it. I did like let me not say in love. That's an exaggeration. I really liked it. I think I didn't understand what I was getting into, right? I didn't know it was going to be such a dialogue-heavy game, which I enjoy, right?
Yes.
I was, talking to every character, getting their backstory, trying to build the relationships, right, to get better stuff with them. But I think it wasn't until I hit like hour 25 maybe where I started to feel like this gameplay loop is getting kind of repetitive for me, and not in a good way.
Yes.
Like I don't know if I'm really enjoying going to East Town and seeing the same mission formulation. My weapons started to get really stale, and I wasn't really enticed to try other things or change out my kit really, right? So I think on a base level, I think people that aren't into RPGs really, or especially large RPGs, like Elder Scrolls, for instance, this is a good starter. I think this is definitely a good game, especially if you like dialogue, you like story. This is a game for you. And I still think I enjoyed it a lot, right? But I think I just hit a certain point where I was like, I just don't know if this gameplay loop is something I want to do for another 20 to 30 hours, right? Like I think if this game was concised into a good 15 to 20 hour experience, I would have enjoyed my time and it probably would be higher for me. But I think overall, I just hit a wall where I was just like, I just don't know about this gameplay loop. And that was what really took me out of it, I think.
Yeah, and that's really a good synopsis of my experience with it. I think I hit that wall a little quicker than you did.
Okay, for sure.
The story started out being very interesting. I really like the party that I built so far. It's insane to me that I forget the guy's name, but the blue guy who ends up being literally Garrus
that's my dog.
from freaking Mass Effect is
that's my dog.
Yeah,
man.
he's really cool. And I liked how some of the missions, like in regards to the stories of the missions, how they were interesting. I think one of the ones early on where like you're in one of the first towns and somebody tries to like assassinate you.
Yeah.
You're trying to solve who tried to kill you, and that winds up breaking off into different kinds of like missions. But like you said, like those mission types all kind of dwindle down into fetch quests.
Right. Exactly.
It's just fetch quest with like different kind of wrapper on it. And once you figure that out, you're just kind of like, damn, that's really all it is. It's kind of like the town ends up being the center of the map, and a quest will be like, okay, go northwest, grab this thing, and bring it back to town. Okay, cool. All right, now go southwest, grab this thing, and bring it back to town. And that's really kind of like the structure of the game.
Right. Yeah. I will say I think the highlight of it for me was the combat. I love the weapon variety that they had. Like the fact that I was walking around with a wand and a toolie and was able to like use both at the same time was incredible. I don't know if there's another game where I've been able to do that before. I thought, you talked about the repetitiveness of the missions. The only one I didn't mind was really the bounties because I enjoyed just fighting new enemies and seeing the different ways I could, manipulate combat. Then you talked about the party, right? The abilities that they bring to the table, being able to use them to compound different things for your character, I thought was really good as well. Customization left a lot to be desired, I think, in terms of the character creator, especially because we've had such good games like Dragon's Dogma 2 and how good that creator was, right? And other games like Baldur's Gate even that have come out recently that has some really solid character creators. But I think overall the combat's really good and engaging. I really enjoyed it. I would say, akin to your point about how dull the story falls in some beats, I think I enjoyed most of the in between the story parts more so than completing the main quest. Like traveling to the different areas and seeing new enemies and new environments. And I think the last thing that I'll say is that this game has probably the most rewarding exploration I've seen in such a long time. I mean, every single corner you turn around, every inch of the map that you go across, there's chests to look at, new weapons, different gear. There's just so much to find in that game, and I still feel like I've only scratched the surface, even being 25 to 30 hours in. But like I said, I just don't know if there's enough there in terms of the gameplay loop to make me want to come back and roll those credits for sure.
Yeah, I concur about the combat. I want to say, as somebody who, whenever I play a game that's set in high fantasy, I almost always defer to like just melee, knight, kind of like axes and swords and stuff like that. Avowal really pushes you to use the magic, and it's fun, and it's like,
absolutely
so cool. It's almost like kind of, this might be a stretch, but kind of like Borderlandsy. The way it kind of like looks, like it's really. I don't want to reduce it to like a first person shooter, but
it's weird because you said that when I I was watching the trailer like while you guys were talking about it, like before you actually posted it, and I was like, man, it's Skyrim.
That's what it. That's what it felt like. That's kind of what it felt like, but more story driven. Like, don't go into it expecting like just you're exploring for hours and hours and hours with no dialogue. Like, this is a very, very dialogue heavy game, and I want people to understand that. Like, there's a lot of, and I'm not talking even cutscene dialogue. Like Brian will tell you, you have to like click through these conversations with characters. There's voice acting, right? But if that's not your type of thing, you will not like this game, like in the slightest bit. I promise you will not.
Like the only hang up for me, because I like heavy dialogue, like
good,
games, like because that means like if it's done well, that means there's like a really big story there with branching arcs to the story. So that like like sometimes you play a game like that and one of your side stories sticks with you more than the main story does, and like that's just speaks volumes of how well they tried to put this world together. The problem for me is I don't like the high fantasy setting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I'm not a big fan of that. Yeah, and like that's that like, and like we were saying this like before we started. Hey, we were talking about like we were going to talk about Avowed, and I was like, what is that again? And I saw it like, and I've seen the game a few times, but like it just passes right by me because it's just like it's not my thing. It looks really good. Like I like some of those like talking cutscenes that I saw.
Yeah, graphically is really good.
I was like,
Fidelity was
like, that's nice. Like, it looks really good. It looks great, but man, like, and like I said, I don't want to take away from it. I just don't know how to feel about it when it's not something that like it's something that I would see and be like, oh, that looks cool, and then keep moving.
And I think for a lot of people, that's what it was. I don't know that a lot of people, there was a lot of discussion around this game. I think when it first came out, of course, you have your initial reviews, right? This is what it is. But I think for this game to have been so anticipated with, like what Brian said earlier about, Obsidian returning to form, right? This is supposed to be their big breakout. Xbox was talking about this game and propping it up as their next big IP even, right? I just think it didn't stick the landing that it needed to have that staying power. And that's why I don't know that I could put it at least in the upper half of our list is for that very reason. I don't know if at the end of the year, this is going to be a game that, we remember, but let alone years from now, will I remember my experience with Avowed as one of my best gaming experiences of this year? I don't know. I can't say that would be the case for me.
And I would dial back the Skyrim comparisons because I really think the only comparison that has to Skyrim is the setting and the fact that it's an action RPG. And that's where it's like it stops. Like the difference in scale is night and day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, it should be. It's like Skyrim's owl now.
No, I mean like Skyrim's the bigger game.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not that open. It's not as open as you think.
Yeah, this is not open world. It's open zone. Like I said, like you're really like doing like smaller maps that you can freely explore, but like you're doing that for a little bit of the story. Then you're moving on to another map that you're doing for a little bit of the story, and then so on and so forth. So it's not like one gigantic world. And also, like, the world's not as interactive, I guess, as Skyrim. Right. Alive is definitely another way to say it. Like, NPCs don't interact.
I'm just saying, like, it feels like y'all not going to finish it unless, like, there's nothing to play. Y'all are like through y'all list. That's what it kind of sound like.
Yeah, I think that's where I am. I enjoy my time with it, and I'm glad I played it. I don't regret playing it by any means, right? But I just don't know if it's a game that I would be able to stick through, especially if the formula is the same from where I am. There's no way I could finish playing that game.
Sames. Like this doesn't lower what I think about Obsidian. I'm still looking forward to Outer Worlds 2 when that comes out. I just think this was kind of, I don't think it hit the bar. Like, and I wasn't really setting the bar at Skyrim. Like Obsidian was very vocal. If you like paid attention to like a lot of their pressers and stuff, they wanted you to know that this was not supposed to be their Skyrim. This is like really more so an Outer World scale game in high fantasy. This is like a Fallout Vegas scale game in high fantasy. Like, this is not supposed to be meant to be like the next Elder Scroll. But I mean, even when you set the bar there, I just don't think.
Do you think if it came out a little earlier, it might have been talked about a little better? Because like this shit's like kind of stacked.
It came out January.
I think it came out earlier. Yeah, it was the top of the year.
No, I'm talking about like earlier, like last year.
Oh.
I don't even know because last year was stacked.
Yeah, last year was stacked too. I don't think it probably would have got. Yeah, I don't think it would have done anything. I just don't think it does anything so extraordinary that it has the word of mouth presence like an Expedition 33 does. And I think that's what hinders it. The people that know are gonna try it and play it because it's in a Obsidian RPG. And as knowing that developer, right, we have high standards for them. But I think it doesn't have that, word of mouth, reach that a game like Expedition 33 does. Which honestly speaking, Brian, would you recommend it? I'm even thinking to myself, like, could I recommend this game to somebody?
It would have to be somebody like you were saying, like you are a hardcore Obsidian fan, or you are somebody who are really into high fantasy action RPGs, and you're looking for something to, like, it's just, there's so much more this year that I would recommend over this game.
Over this,
not saying it's bad. But
and I don't want people to think that, right? Like, I do not want people to think that I wouldn't be arguing for this game to be on the list somewhere if I didn't think it was enjoyable, and I enjoy my time with it. But there's definitely some flaws there, absolutely.
Yeah.
So with that being said, all the marbles, is there anything that you would put over, or anything on our list that you would put about or overrated?
I would start at Tribe 9, but I have not played Tribe 9.
Okay.
That's why I was saying. I already knew where it was going. That's why.
Oh man! Oh no! Oh no!
With
Speak up.
With Wonder Stop, I really would like to play more Wonder Stop before I even make that call.
For sure.
Because like I said, I have faith in the person who made Wonder Stop. Where like I know there's something hidden in there.
For sure.
I just got to make some more tea. I got to dig in the tea leaves, and I got.
I respect it.
You want me to tell you what I think?
What?
I think you need to make a hard decision.
Between what?
Because I don't think Assassin's Creed is going to make it the year.
I don't think a lot of things on this list is going to make it this year, but that's I'm not a soothsayer. I don't know. There's a lot of things that we have that have ambition that could come out and could suck. We don't know.
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2 could suck. Probably
Preview
won't.
really good.
Probably
Death,
won't.
Death- really good.
Death Stranding 2 is so niche. And like, as a Kojima fanboy,
Mm.
I was like, no, for the first one. I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to.
But I think it's crazy that we can feel that way because I'm the same way.
Mhm.
But I'm still compelled to buy Death Stranding 2 just to see.
I'm never going to
I think that's the power of Kojima. You know what I mean? It's like that game is still going to sell ridiculous amounts. And just like we talked about, what was the sequel we talked about earlier that sold? Oh, Helldivers. Just like we talked about Helldivers. This one may sell more than the first one, even though some people haven't even played the first one. Just because it's a Kojima game and it's like it feels like a blockbuster almost, right? Like, I think he really hits the nail on the head of, mixing the world of film and games to where this feels like a blockbuster.
It's going to do a certain amount of numbers because of the Kojima name alone.
Yep, absolutely.
And then everybody's going to make its assumptions about the actual game.
Yeah, true.
And I'm like, buddy, make a movie, man. Just make a movie.
Make a movie.
Just make an actual movie, bro. Like, we know you want to do it. I could go for an old 80s movie because that's what he want to do. You want to make an 80s movie in 2024.
He's doing
2025.
doing the horror
whatever
joint.
year it is.
He's doing a horror. Well, it's a game, but
that's a
horror
game
thing with Jordan Peele.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got the connections, brother. It's time. 2026.
I think I'm fine with that placement, though. Honestly, I think that's a good solid list to start us off. And like I said, there's so much coming out this year. We could easily revisit this once a month, and I guarantee you we'll have some stuff changing up for sure.
It's gonna be so damn hectic, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, maybe not. Maybe all this other stuff will flop.
The trash, yeah, that's true. That'd be a plot twist. That would be a big plot twist. Rest of the year is just trash. Elden Ring, trash. Donkey Kong, trash.
Mario Kart World,
trash.
$8.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, I guess we did it. We got our 10. Tribe not lived. When the Tribe lived,
I need y'all to give it like an hour.
I will.
I will.
Give it like an hour and get back to me. Just
if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be trying it, but I will try it just for you.
I like Danganronpa. I will try it just off the strength of it looking like Danganronpa.
It's better than the other game that looks like Danganronpa.
Damn.
And you said it's free to play, so literally nothing to lose, like you said.
Yeah.
I will definitely give it a try.
So can we bang the gavel? The power rankings are
Temporarily.
Bow.
Yeah.
All right.
As per this meeting.
Once you guys play it, I hope it survives.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play Wonder Stop too. That definitely feels like a Steam Deck game waiting out.
I've been wanting to try that out since like we talked about it. So like as soon as I got that little bit of extra, like I'm in there.
That is a chill Sunday afternoon type of game.
All right, y'all. So that was this episode of Game Clique. Like I said earlier on in the show, you can find us on all social media platforms. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitch. There's no content there yet, but you should follow us there preemptively. We are going to start streaming there. I just got to figure out a schedule. Blue Sky, Threads, TikTok. I haven't written here. I don't know why I keep trying to do it by heart. We're on all social media platforms at Real Game Clique. Make sure you follow us and make sure you drop some mentions. Say something. Talk to me. Well, I'm not there. It's probably gonna be Lendrix more so than me. But talk to him. If you're watching and not listening, find us on your favorite podcast platform by searching at Game Clique on your favorite podcast platform and hit the sub and leave a review. If you're listening and not watching, we're on YouTube. You can watch clips of the podcast and more IRL content. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch TV and YouTube at / Hinokaga. Content's coming like little by little. Like I think yesterday we played some Marvel Rivals on Twitch and we were streaming on Twitch and YouTube yesterday. So and that was fun. We grinded a little bit of ranked and we are working our way out of low elo hell. So but yeah, that's it. Twitch and YouTube / Hinokaga.
Sergio, where can they find you?
Oh man, these days definitely on Blue Sky, definitely on Twitch. Both of them, I'm Physics, IMPHYSIX. You can definitely catch me either one of those.
Reese, what are you doing?
Hey, this is not a wrestling podcast. Or Lip Gloss and Ladders podcast. And you can follow us at Lip Gloss N, the letter N, Ladders on Instagram. I can be found at Genius Re and Reese Plays Games X, where I will totally be posting.
That you will. Yes, you will.
Yes, I will.
And you will be playing Overcooked.
I'm scared. Yes, chef. I'm an idiot sandwich.
As always, we'll be back every other week recording new podcasts here. Be good, get good, stay good, y'all. We're out.
Peace.